Anthony Casso built his empire through various rackets from drugs to garment district operations and everything in between. He was a natural-born killer who worked as an underboss to Vicamuso and the Lucchese crime family. However, many have said that Casso pulled the strings. In 1994, he pled guilty to 72 counts he had been indicted on, including 15 murders. His lifelong motto, kill or be killed. Ruthless and cold-blooded, Casso would work his way up the mob ladder with a reputation as a violent and terrifying figure in the New York underworld, eventually confessing to involvement in Frank DeCicco's death, Roy DeMeo's death, and several attempts at John Gotti. In 1962, at the age of 22, Casso was convicted of bookmaking but only spent 5 days in jail for the crime. His early years were made up of mainly petty thefts, where he would pay off truck drivers to steal their goods and then sell them on the streets. As the swinging 60s started to progress, so did Casso, as he would eventually move on to bigger jobs, such as robbing banks and jewelry stores with his crew. In 1972, Casso was arrested in relation to one of the bank jobs, but the case was dropped after the witness refused to identify any of the gang that took part in the heist. During the 1970s and 1980s, Casso's crew stole an estimated $100 million worth of valuables and cash from bank jobs alone. It was also during the mid-1970s that Casso allegedly committed his first murder at the age of 32, and finally made his bones in the Lucchese crime family. The victim was a drug dealer thought to be an informant. It was after being made in the family that Casso met Vicamuso, a partnership that would last nearly 20 years. In 1987, after Tony Ducks Corralo was indicted with several other mobsters in the commission trial, Amuso took the reins, only after Casso refused the role in the first instance. By 1989, Amuso promoted Casso to underboss of the Lucchese family. This is where the famous partnership really started to grow. Even though Amuso was the boss of the family, it was clear that Casso pulled the strings. Being at the top of a major crime family just fueled Casso's aggression, which in the end would be the downfall of him. The Casso-Amuso partnership brought in plenty of cash from rackets, which included $20,000 a month from extorting carding companies, $75,000 a month in kickbacks, $20,000 a week from illegal video gaming machines, and $245,000 annually from a major concrete supplier. On top of that, the two also split $800,000 from the Colombo crime family for Casso's aid in helping them rob steel from a construction site, and then $600,000 from the Gambino crime family for allowing them to take over a Lucchese protected contractor for a housing complex project. While evading authorities for over 3 years, Casso maintained control over the Lucchese family. In the process, he ordered 11 mob slayings, as well as plotting with Genovese leader Vincent the Chin Gigante to murder John Gotti. Casso and Gigante were outraged that John Gotti had murdered Paul Castellano without the sanction of the Mafia's commission. All attempts on Gotti's life failed, with one car bomb in 1986 that killed a Gambino capo by the name of Frank DeCicco. In early 1991, Amuso and Casso ordered the murder of Capo Pete Chiodo, who had pled guilty without the administration's approval. Chiodo barely survived the assassination attempt and subsequently agreed to turn state's evidence. In September 1991, the acting boss for the Lucchese's, Al Diarco, felt his time was up for the failure to kill Chiodo, and he too agreed to testify. It was with the Chiodo and Diarco testimonies which led to murder charges being pinned on Casso and Amuso. Casso was arrested at a mistress's home in Mount Olive, New Jersey on January 19, 1993, and is now locked up for life at the Federal Community Corrections Facility in Minnesota, without any chance of parole.
I'm truly regretful for my decision to cooperate with the government. It was against all my beliefs and upbringing. I know for certain, had my father been alive, I would have never done so.
You're now rocking with the best, NCS Costa Nostra.
Welcome to the Sting of Oz.
The search is over. Every series helps bring you a step closer to the life of the mob without dangerous exposure of what went down, plus Mobster of the Month. Original content if you're searching on a hunt for the who's who or the best dressed guy, the type of guns they use, the feuds and mob wives. We supply everything as soon as you log on to the National Crime Syndicate.com. From John Gotti to Dawn, back to Mustache P, Big Joe, Al Capone, and Maya Lansky. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride, cause the code of silence here no longer applies. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned in, cause over here we like to keep this thing moving.